Welcome in, everybody. Happy Wednesday to all of you. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to be here. I was really worried for the longest time I was going to be working overtime today, but finally, I'm actually convinced we could do this without the overtime. So I'm shocked, but we're here. And so first things first, Bad at Buttons, thank you for the lurk. Lovely to see you briefly. I know you're not here, or like you may be listening but not available. Regardless, you are still the first viewer to redeem first the stream. It was so quick. It was like the stream elements like message to indicate things were working, and the redemption happened at the same time on my screen. So that was incredibly quick. You are first, and so you can pat yourself on the back for that. And also you were the last week. So that's 2 for 2. You are clearly Bad at Buttons is back, baby, and here we be. And then we'll move on from there. It is lovely to see all of you wonderful folks today. So not just Buttons, but also SNK and Willis and Kelly and anybody else. And Boo. There we go. That was the one. Wonderful to see all you folks today, and anyone else who chooses to pop in. It's always delightful to hang out with y'all. So we have a few more redemptions to clear up. Boo's Merry-Go-Round, thank you very much for redeeming Spill the Tea. I know it wasn't a hydrate redemption, but it feels pretty rude to spill the tea and not drink it, especially when you have a spectacular tea receptacle like this. That does look kind of faded on my screen, but you know, it's delightful. So today I am drinking a green tea with mint infusion, so it's like minty green, very tasty, and surprisingly, despite the fact that I'm drinking it hot, it feels very cooling, which is one of the reasons that I chose that for today, because it is very hot out. It is Chip from Beauty and the Beast. It's the official Disney mug of Chip from Beauty and the Beast. A very good friend of mine gave it to me for my birthday years ago. Like 7 or 8 years ago at this point, I swear. And I have never used it on stream. Today, when I went to grab out the bowl that I needed, hi Sudarudo, for my seasonal candy, it was sitting right next to it, and I was like, wait, but I've never done this. And that seemed terrible, so I fixed it now. And I'm drinking green tea out of it, which is very silly, because I don't think Chip would ever serve that. So what up, Willis? Thank you so much for that resub. 17 whole heckin' months is a lot of months. And thank you also for redeeming Costume Time. I don't have any scarves that match my outfit, so I'm going with a scarf that is designed for aesthetic rather than warmth, because again, as I may have mentioned, it is extremely hot. Like, so very hot. And so I'm gonna do the good old bam fashion bow right there. Hope you enjoy that scarf, and I appreciate the Costume Time redemption. I do enjoy the costumes. Kelly, thank you for redeeming Word of the Stream. Gosh. Well, we're gonna have fun with that in a minute. Willis, thank you for redeeming Hydrate for 69 channel points. Nice. Willis, thank you as well for redeeming Third. Much appreciated. And then I have a this is great. Sudarudo and Kelly, I'm just so glad you guys redeemed those. So we now have a non-seasonal candy redemption and a seasonal candy redemption. For longtime viewers of the stream, just before I like quickly back up and deal with the chalkboard. For longtime viewers of the stream, or, you know, for people who've been here in the last month, you may have noticed that occasionally I put quotation marks around the word candy in some of my redemptions, and that's because technically these things are not candies, but they're what I'm using anyway. So for the month of August, there isn't an official holiday that is celebrated with a food or candy that I know of in the month of August, and so I just looked up the ridiculous list of holidays in August, like the internet's list of holidays. What do we celebrate? And Ice Cream Sunday, celebratory day of some description was one of them. And so my seasonal candy for the month of August has been ice cream. It melts very quickly, and so I really appreciate you redeeming that early, Kelly. I have salted caramel today, which is actually shockingly delicious, even slightly melted. So I'm very excited about that. Hi, Daisies! I can't let it melt! You're right. You can't. As well you shouldn't. And because I have been amusing myself all month with the seasonal candy, today I have actually gone for a non-seasonal candy. Any Canadians in the house? So this is a bowl. Ooh. This is a bowl of Timbits. Hello, Quill! Nice to see you. How you doing tonight? I'm gonna choose to have the birthday cake. Cause obviously I was about to, Willis, do you know what I was about to say? I was about to say, cause there's a Tim Hortons near my house, as though that was a surprise. There's a Tim Hortons near every house in Canada. So what actually happened, which I think is delightful, is Kimenzel is actually home sick today. Like, he's feeling a little under the weather, so he took the day off. It's not anything serious that we know of at this point. He's just feeling extremely low energy, and so sometimes that can mean your immune system is fighting something off. And so I'm well, and by and large Kimenzel is well, but he took the day off today, and sometimes it can be really helpful to, like, hydrate very carefully. And so in the middle of the day, as part of his wish to hydrate carefully, he ordered like one of those big lemonades from Tim Hortons, because lemon is really good for your sinuses and lemonade is really good for your hydration. And in order to get free delivery, he got a 50-pack of Timbits. So I took a bunch of them, and they're mine now. 50 takes us a very long time to consume. And I'm also annoyed because even though it's a 50-pack, Kelly, I'm dealing with the word of the stream now, just in case you want to hear the awful attempt. When I was looking through the 50-pack, there's no old-fashioned glazed at all, which means the Tim Hortons that we got this from didn't make old-fashioned glazed today, and that's the best kind. But it's fine. Bring back the maple Timbits from Canada Day. You know what? I'd even be happy if they just brought back the pumpkin spice ones. Where are those? Those were great. But like, also bring back the maple ones. Please do. Always please do. So I have some like Timbits to get through, and that's just as much a candy as ice cream is a candy. So they're like sweet snacks. Okay. This is such a word. This is a great word. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. So we're going to hear something pronounce this correctly, but let me just tell you, it's not going to be me. So I really want to start this with like shuk is the sound that I want to go with. So like shukskuterska is my first guess. And I'm going to show you this word in a minute. I'm just... this. Is it Swedish? Is it German? I always tend to go very European when I see these languages with like my pronunciation. I'm not great at understanding the pronunciation rules outside of European languages, or like Romance languages, I guess, technically. Almost. Almost. I did not make it, but I tried. I tried so hard to fit it all in one line on the chalkboard, and I'm off by one letter, which is the worst amount to be off by. So, so this is wrong, but I'm saying maybe the J is a Y and it should be Sure. 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 I'm not even sure how I would say it if I was making that a Y. Shook. Shook. Shkutershka. I put the A down a line, and then I put a little frowny face in the corner for having missed the A. So that's my best guess at this word. Now we're gonna try and see if TTS can do this. My guess is it can't, but that's fine. I'm genuinely not sure if TTS is even gonna try. Well, I feel pretty good about that, and so watch me be proved wrong really quickly. When I say I feel pretty good about that, what I mean is I feel like I probably did better than TTS at that pronunciation, and I'm genuinely unsure if that's actually a valid feeling or if I'm about to just get embarrassed. Oh, it is Swedish! Yo, that's the first thing I said. Oh no, Willis, you tried. You tried 5 whole days of resisting, and you just gave in. And honestly, I can't blame you. I had 0 whole days of resisting. I went straight from the first Emily Wilde's encyclopedia, like directly into Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands with no break whatsoever, to the point that I almost forgot it was different books. Anyway, let's check this audio file. Hui. Oh. Hui. Sjuksköterska. Sjuksköterska. Okay, so there's certain elements of that I'm doing okay on, and there's other elements of it that I am wholly unfamiliar with in terms of my mouth making the right shapes. But that ain't bad. Garlic Grove, thank you for redeeming Switch. What's my suspend point? Okay, we'll be fine. It just means nurse. Oh my goodness. Okay, where we at with this one? Oh no! We're in Sabrota and I don't remember why. Great. This is gonna go so very well, chat. But that's okay. Bam. Awesome. Well, thank you for the redemption anyway, Garlic Grove. We were lost. Last week we were lost in both games. I think the week before I was actually doing okay, but last week we were lost in both games, and this week we're only going to get more lost, as I have mentioned, but only very briefly, and so some of this was by implication. My place of work, the office where we're located, is in process of being moved to a new location, and so this whole week we've been packing everything up, and we're an online retail business, and so that involves packing up product as well as supplies, because our physical office space is like half warehouse and half office. So we moved into a place that had more space for the warehouse side of things, because we were out of space. And so we had to pack so many things, and that is all I have been doing for ages, and I really was not sure if we were gonna have time to finish everything. And so my brain has just lived there the whole time, which means today is a day that if you would like to confuse me, I will be so easily confused. I'm going to get lost so fast. I just feel like a little wibbly wobbly top that I have no idea what's going on. And that's fine. My cabbages. Yeah, a little bit. But the movers are coming on Friday to move everything, and I'm very happy about that, because I actually think we'll be done by then. We have one more day, and I think we can do it. So close. And everything is beautifully labeled in neon colors. That will not help as much as people seem to think it will help, but it will help a non-zero amount, and I am excited about that. Garlic Grove, thank you for redeeming Ask Me Anything. Are you a cabbage vendor? I am a cabbage eater. I am a cabbage purchaser. I, in fact, had cabbage with my evening meal. But I cannot in all good conscience say that I have ever vended a cabbage. I truly hope you are not too disappointed in me. Okay, so what are we doing? Oh! Oh, good. We're leaving a plate. Okay, maybe I've actually fixed... I like it both ways. Good point, Kelly. I definitely like it both ways, but it really depends. If it's going to be cooked cabbage, there are specific ways that I like it cooked and not other ways. Whereas, like, pretty much it does now. You're right. Oh, goodness. Thank goodness I already did all the hard stuff. I remember there was a skeleton pirate ship that confused me so much like 2 weeks ago, and I think I just went the wrong way. Getting a whole cabbage and then just eating the leaves. I can genuinely say that I have never done anything like that, Garlic Grove. That's cool, though. I'm very much a coleslaw kind of girl. I mean, I do put, like, shredded cabbage on top of lettuce-based salad as well, but I'm, like, very solidly a coleslaw person. Hi, Plum! Oh, I'm sorry you're not feeling so hot. Please, 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 go to bed. Rest up. I hope you feel better soon. Thank you so much for popping in and saying hello before you left. Yes, comfort, covers, and a good book. Strongly recommend. Definitely the thing to cure whatever ails you. Sleep up and I hope you feel better. Love. Actually, I can do that more specifically. There you go. Okay, what season am I gonna get now? I'm gonna get a new season. Hi. Can I make friends with you? I'm the spirit of spring. Oh, sorry. These are fairies are French in my voice acting of the Zelda franchise. I am the spirit of spring. Rock our buds bloom in spring. It is a season of discovery. To think, I can add to the power of the hero with the triangle symbol. I loan you the power of the spirit of spring. Whew. Chat, we have 3 whole seasons. Oh dear. And now I'm gonna have to figure out where to go. Interesting. So what's been specifically tricky... Oops. Very annoying. What's been specifically tricky about Oracle of Seasons is the fact that navigation of like the maps sometimes only works in one direction depending on what season it is, and it has made it extremely difficult. Oh, that was just a gaseous seed. For me to figure out like what the rules are for where I'm supposed to go and when. Nice. Hello, the oncoming storm. Lovely to see you. How are you doing? Okay, so I can go this way. Oh. I mean, I can go that way, but I can't, like, make progress that way because I could move the rocks and I could jump over the 2 holes, but I couldn't jump over the lava afterwards, and that is... You've almost 100%ed the 1,000-year door on Switch? Garlic Grove, I'm so proud of you. I mean, I also kind of miss Paper Q streams. Paper QEW streams. They might be coming back at some point, though. Because I haven't played this on stream. I also haven't played Paper Mario Sticker Star on stream, but I'm truly not sure if I'm going to, because I've tried to like that game. I've tried to like that game more than once. Oh, did I say 100-year door instead of 1,000-year door? I genuinely, I don't remember. I might have been off by a factor of 10. You only have the 2nd pit boss to beat? There's 2 on Switch. Oh, for real though, do you remember how long it took me to do the Pit of 100 Trials the first time I streamed 1,000-year door? Chat, I got so much good practice at this. at the time, I had to be really strict about when I ended stream. And so I couldn't do too much of the pit, and I also like had to turn off my console, so I kept having to like leave and then like plan it and come back, and so I played through the pit of 100 trials up to level 80 4 times in total before beating it, just so that I was on the correct level on stream. It was so much extra work. The pit for Super Paper Mario was significantly easier. I'm pretty sure I did the flop side pit of trials twice in one long stream. Like I did a before and after lunch stream for it, but like I did it in a day. It's so much easier. Like the pit of 100 trials in original, is there one in original Paper Mario? And in Thousand Year Door especially, so much more difficult for me than Super Paper Mario. I don't know why that is. Actually, I do know why that is. Hello, Angel! Hello, how are you? Are you doing well? You can yes, you can pause the game and sleep the switch to save your progress, and that will help me significantly. I won't have to restart like so many times. Kate Bloomer as well. Oh my gosh, everybody cool is here. It is lovely to see you all. I am being a poor multitasker today, Angel. So genuinely, I'm doing well. I'm feeling very positively about pink chat. That's true. I'm feeling very positively about how things are going with the office move at work. I think I can just leave. I have a new season, so I can probably just leave now. One might imagine. Oops, I accidentally threw myself off the building. And right next to a stump. Love that. But I've been so focused on that genuinely I'm just like, my brain has the RAM for one task at a time. If you try to open a second tab in this Chrome, it will crash the whole thing. So I'm not doing a fabulous job at speaking and also playing the game. And I am highly distractible, extremely confusable, and really looking forward to the next 2 hours. Oh, Kate, I want to see. I want the screenshot. Pink chat. That's true. All the pink people arrived. But we're going to mix it up and we're going to make it purple. We're going to do it. I love it. Angel, thank you very much for redeeming that. Bam, skis. There you go. Purple. I'll be... Oh no. Kate, that's not... That's quite something. Well, thanks for being here anyway. Angel, thank you for redeeming Spill the Tea. I'm gonna take a sip of it. So first of all, look at this. Look at this thing of beauty. Truly beautiful. I love it. Second of all, my tea is a green tea with infusion of mint. So it's like a minty green tea. It is a great mug. You know what? Hit me up, Kate. We'll see what I can do. I am probably just gonna change this to spring because I can. How would y'all feel about that? I don't know what I'm doing. What season is it? Winter? Okay. What season is it? Spring? That's probably true. Oh dear. Well, that sounds like a very long story that has been shortened quite effectively. I genuinely don't know what I'm supposed to do, but look at all these missing squares that I haven't traveled to. I feel like a failed explorer. Moosh! Hey, Moosh! There's a spring banana tree up there, but until the rock flowers bloom in spring, I can't climb up to it. Can nothing be done? Sorry. What? Isn't it spring right now? Did I muck up which season it is? Is it actually summer? Why is there a blue cuckoo? Flying cuckoo. Flaps when held. Otherwise, it's dangerous. He does look so sad, and this bird looks wired. Oof. Okay, so I genuinely don't understand. I thought these are the rock flowers. Okay, so is it not spring right now? Angel, congratulations on the 7-stream streak. Bye. I see you running. Excuse? I did not mean to do that, Daisies. I'm sorry. I was trying to click an emote and it like borked my thing. It did it again! Stop it! This is ridiculous! I have the little screen open for the emotes. And like I click the emote and it's clicking whatever's behind the panel. And I don't want that. The Oncoming Storm, thank you very much for redeeming Switch. I guess we're gonna figure out how to make the rock flowers bloom later. Because I genuinely don't... That's a good point. I should. Because that is clearly some kind of annoying glitch. 1 lap! Keep going. Okay. What am I doing? I have pushed... Okay. So, there's supposed to be a key here. But I have tried pushing these. What? I absolutely tried that first last time and it did not work. I tried pushing this in all directions because I couldn't push it this way, and I tried pushing these out and everything was not working. So apparently we just needed to reset and do something else for a little bit. But like, I genuinely... You didn't see it this week because I tried it last week. But last week I literally walked up here and I tried to push this over it and it did not work. And so I went, that's weird because that's the obvious and clear solution to this puzzle. Why isn't it working? So as it turns out, if it's the obvious, it's just the obvious and clear solution to this. Defeat all the enemies first? Were there enemies in this room? That's fascinating. I had no idea. Huh. Well, that's probably why it wasn't working. So I still don't understand how to interact with some of the things. Wait. So if I can push this now. Lap 2! Okay, I still can't move that. Or that. Or that in any useful direction. Can I move this? No. Can I move this? Okay. Think. I still have no idea. Like, I feel like I'm at the wrong angle, you know? Like, I can't do anything from here. But I've seen this room now from several different perspectives. And I still don't know how to deal with it. We fought a mini-boss. That was great. How we doing down here? Ah, we can't get around to where we need for that. We'll be able to jump off. So we have to come from below. Fine. Ah, okay. So we're gonna have to... Can we do a lap? So many enemies. I'm just gonna... Mm-hmm. Okay, so we do in fact need to solve this room. Which might be possible now that we have the seed shooter. I don't know. So I want to change the direction of that. Lap-toi! Angel, you're fantastic. You just... I made it work at one point. Okay, so that's not it. I did something that made that change direction, and I don't remember what I did. Aha! Interesting. Okay, so I am going to want this angle then, maybe. I don't even know if this is... Okay, good. That is the correct seed. Okay. Weird, because again, I could swear I had tried that before. But that's fine. This is required, it's not optional. Okay. I think I want to go down there. Like, it says that there is a treasure chest in this room. Ha ha ha! There is. It just gives me money. So once again, like, this was not a tricky puzzle, but honest to goodness, I really thought I tried that already. I'm gonna go back and check my VODs, which are on YouTube if you ever miss anything. Shameless plug. That's so weird. I was so stuck last week, and now I'm like, genuinely, it was exactly what I thought I needed to do, but I just think it wasn't working. Okay. And now this kind of makes sense, because this was the other room. So we have to navigate this... Wait, what? Can I turn the bridges back in that room using this room? No. I don't have the ability that I know of to change the angle of the thing. So I'm gonna try something. Cool! I was hoping! Ah! P-hats really are annoying. Thank you for the help. Nice. Oh man, I wanted those seeds. Those things keep dropping me scent seeds, and the last time I tried shooting a scent seed out of the seed shooter, it did not work. And so while I am aware that sometimes things don't work the way they should, I'm still fairly convinced. Okay, so this gets me to, like, boss room. I hope that means that I can push the block in this direction. Oh, good. Phew. every time I tried, so from the place where I stood last week, I shot an ember seed and it did the pingy, it shot. I switched to a scent seed, pressed the same button, I dropped it on my foot. Up 4. Woo. You're doing amazing. Angel, you have great stamina. Thank you. Maybe I didn't do it right, but if I did the exact same sequence of inputs as for what is currently on my A button, but for it with the scent seed pictured instead of the ember seed, I'm gonna suggest I used it in, like, if it let me use it in the shooter, that's what I did. Because what you have to do is you have to change it and then change it back, which is very annoying. And I had it like this, and I pressed the button, and it did not do the shoot. And so when I close this and I press the button and it definitely does the shoot, that's when we learn that this game cartridge, which is not even a real cartridge, is afraid of daisies. Cool. This game is afraid of daisies, and it has absolutely no fear of me, because that is how that's supposed to work. And I understood that that was how that was supposed to work, and that's why I tried this. And it didn't work last time. He just threw it on the floor. And I was like, thanks, Link. So this specific dungeon, this is now like the 3rd time I have just been like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then it genuinely has not worked. And I'm like, I'm not dealing. Anyway, so I made my way back around the way I'm supposed to, because all of this is just for the purpose of doing a lap. But you need the seed shooter to do the lap, otherwise it does not work. Can I please get some more seeds from somewhere? Okay, I guess I'll just take health and bombs instead, that's fine. I mean, if I could consistently be shooting scent seeds, there's lots of little bushes that give me refills on that. Wait, no. I approach from the bottom. This way. Down one more. Great! Whew! All of that just to make sure this was going to send me in the correct direction. Beautiful. A thing of beauty and a joy forever. It's dangerous to go alone. There's puzzles out there! Poison Death Frog. Lovely to see you. Happy Wednesday. Oh, yay. Things and stuff. Oh. So what I find interesting about this is it's a 2-time thing. Unless I stand on the button. Okay. So my guess is I'm supposed to shoot this on a diagonal. Because we also learned last week that we can shoot on diagonals. Happy Wednesday to you as well. Lap 5. Grabs water cup, pours overhead, walks for a second, then jogs past. Angel, this is phenomenal. Like, the entertainment value on your laps is like pro. There's definitely certain elements of this that I'm not fond of, Willis, but like overall, I think it's a lot of fun. I just wish. Nope. Nope. Okay, so it did do a bounce. No? See, it bounces very happily off of those, but not off of the other wall. Nope. Haha! Got the angle. That was entirely trial and error. That was not my favorite. But I did do it. And I hope I don't have to do it again. Yes, I will accept this treasure of a boss key. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, good! Yeah. Okay, so now I just have to go back through the crazy mess of bridges to get to the boss room. No big deal, right? No big deal at all. I don't think I can do it starting there because there's the gap. I do have to do it by going all the way down and around. Ugh. Oh dear. Yes. What? I have a small problem. I don't know how to get the bridge. Almost. These are not working. Is there a diagonal? Yes, there is. Thank you. Okay. Ugh! Ruined my shot! Thanks for the mystery seed. There we go. Okay. So we got a seed shooter. I wonder if we're gonna need it for the boss fight. Ooh, 5 stream streak! Good job, Poison Darth Frog. Angel is already running laps. Okay, let me see if I can make the UI not suck. Great! I managed to not delete anybody's messages. That's great. I mean, that was nice of it. That has never happened before in any dungeon I've ever been in. Very unusual. Okay, I already made a suspend point. Alright. Alright, boss. Visibly crying a little bit. Sweating like crazy. Still kind of jogging? Oh, I see. You're nearing your limit, Angel, but I believe in you. You'll get your second wind. You'll make it. Oh, this is a ghost. I appreciate that. I'm also just very much in a position where, like, this dungeon has broken a lot of rules and has also managed to annoy me utterly just due to, like, I think probably issues with the emulation. We all had to go through it. It's great. Lap 6. You can do it, Angel. That's just normal crying. Okay, so this actually seems like a better spot for a suspend point. So we're gonna have to learn what to do about this ghost. This reminds me an awful lot of Twin Rova. I can't tell if I'm looking at a ghost or if I'm looking at like an old hag. Are you Kome or Kotake? Is that your name? You cannot see who I am, for I am your shadow. Oh. Oh, goodness me. Oh, goodness me. Nope. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Ow. Did she take damage, or was it just me? Because I did take damage. I can't tell if I'm supposed to go for the butterflies. Oops. Oh, okay, so she does take damage from that. Whoop. Oh boy. Oh boy. I do not like these. Whoop. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. So it forms first into flutterbys. Oh. Interesting. Okay, so she's actually really tricky to hit because this room is big. Yeah. Okay. I have some confidence that I understand what I'm doing. This does not mean I'm gonna live. Oops! Wrong angle. Whoa. Nice hit. I like that she runs at me. So that's actually what I'm kind of waiting for, is not just she appears, but also, like, she tries to attack me. Woo! Because then I can see her coming. Gonna have to switch to like mystery seeds or something soon. Or I could just destroy her. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. You did have a lot of opportunity to learn that when you shoot a seed, it bounces a whole bunch. And therefore, that makes some sense. Turn off the lights, then there won't be any shadows. Shadow Q! Willis, thank you very much for redeeming Hydrate for 69 channel points. Nice. Thank you as well for redeeming Dehydrate. I'm so very tempted to just call Dehydrate a Timbit as well, but I have an actual Dehydrate because I still have some of my Cool Ranch Doritos. Your feed glitched a bit. You don't think your streak showed up in chat. You were motionless while thinking. And then a spinny loading circle popped up and I realized the screen had frozen. Maybe it's just your thinking face. That's a great moment. Thanks for the GG, Garlic Grove. Gets the last burst of energy, runs across the line, falls to the ground. Lap 7, we did do it. Angel, while you were making laps, I beat up an old lady. Or a ghost. It's not clear. Thanks for the encouragement. I'm in favor of either one. Especially when it's both. Nice necklace. Oh, the echoing howl, an essence of time. A thing that's a little bit weird about ages in comparison to seasons that I'm just noticing is that with seasons, you're like earning something new for the Rod of Seasons every time, but in ages, you've always had that ability. And so it's a much more like earning this essence does nothing for me. You know, earning essences in either game do not actually contribute to like my ability to navigate the map. And so seasons, because it's based on stuff that you can do with the Rod of Seasons, like feels more interesting to navigate, whereas ages is just like, yeah, what new item did you get? Use that. Also old lady ghosts and old ghost ladies. All very true. And lady ghost olds. Very funny. The Oncoming Storm. Thank you very much for redeeming Switch. So quickly before we get cutscened, let's run over to seasons and see where we're at. Right, where we're at is confused because I thought it was spring and the rock flowers haven't bloomed. And so I don't understand what I'm supposed to do to get over here. It is heavy like a rock. Ooh. But the thing is, there is also a flying bird. And there's a key. It's kind of like the one in Link's Awakening with the ball and the pillars, except you can't break the game. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that it's better planned. You got a fancy necklace. If that doesn't belong to an old ghost lady, I don't know what does. That's correct. Okay. So this is summer now. Angel, I'm so glad you are having a blast watching them. Wait. I can get into this cave in winter. One moment, please. I am having much more fun playing them, but I think I'm gonna have more fun playing them the second time around, because the thing that is genuinely true about me and Zelda games is I find them extremely fun if I know what I'm doing. And sometimes I can really struggle to enjoy them if I feel like they're being particularly obtuse, or if they seem to expect me to have prior knowledge of the game. And these games do require that a little bit more than like Majora's Mask did, for example. Like Majora's Mask, I was never going to manage to 100% without a walkthrough because the way they hide those pieces of heart is ridiculous. But also, like, it was a lot easier to understand what you needed to be suspicious of in something like Majora's Mask or something like Ocarina of Time. These are definitely like, what am I doing half the time? And so when I know what I'm doing, I'm going to find them more fun. But like the process of discovery in Zelda games isn't always 100% fun for me. The process of playing them is. Link to the Past is a lot of fun. And Link to the Past is one where, like, so sometimes I find the boss fights on that tricky. I didn't find them necessarily as self-explanatory as I have found other examples of games in the Zelda franchise. But I never felt like I was confused as to where to go or what to do. And I have absolutely felt that in the Game Boy games. And so I'm wondering if it was a limitation of the cartridge platform, like the fact that you're working with this map. And so you're often retrekking, like you're going past the same stuff again and again and again. Because I found that in the Link's Awakening game as well. Link's Awakening, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, they've had this sort of similar flavor that makes me go, wait, but where am I supposed to go this time? I've already been all of these places. What thing have you done differently? And the Oracles games sometimes, like, the fact that when I found the guy who said he needed the rope for the raft, and I was like, I don't know where to find that, and I had to just leave the screen again, and then I got cutscened. I'm like, you can't know that. Like, how long could it have taken for me to leave? If I thought that there was a different solution, you know? And so sometimes the process of discovery, not so hot. But often when I get to it, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I'll remember that the next time I go through it, and it'll be all golden and hunky-dory, and I probably won't even remember that it annoyed me the first time around. You're onto Game Boy and you have the option of playing these, but you'd rather watch me? Oh, that's nice. Are you also sitting in a position where you're like, that might annoy me if I tried it? You have nostalgia for Link to the Past. Fair enough. I can guarantee that I do not have nostalgia for any Zelda game because I did not play any of them until I was in my mid-20s. That's the first time I played a Zelda game. Willis, thank you so much for redeeming Street. Ooh. I don't know if any of you heard my shoulder pop, but I heard my shoulder pop. That's great. Thank you as well for redeeming non-seasonal candy. We are going to enjoy our Timbits. I'm gonna go with a sour cream glazed. The slightly inferior version of the old-fashioned glaze, but still contains many of its elements. I'm gonna two-bite this one because it's a weird shape. I often don't. It felt awesome too. The sour cream ones are good. I love it when my joints pop when that means they are relaxing. I don't love it so much when it means they're in pain. Battletoads, why would you? Okay, well, that didn't work. So it's spring now. These are supposed to bloom. I don't understand. Moosh told me that in spring the rock flowers bloom. Poison Darkthrock, I'm sure you are not the only person who feels very valid in that choice. Talking through donuts is so relatable. They're just so mushy and gooey and delicious. You want munchkins now? What's a munchkin? I mean, other than a name for a small child, which I kind of presumed was not what you were talking about. I wonder... So if the Coco can fly... Okay, that's what a Timbit is. So that makes sense. That's what these are. They're donut holes. The ones that are made at Tim Hortons are called Timbits. I was so concerned with whether or not I could that I never stopped to think if I should. That's fair. Okay, so here is... I've got to be able to do something with this. This is the thing. Can I lift? Flaps when held, otherwise dangerous. Okay. Maybe I do this. Tim Hortons is very delightful. Okay, good. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Whoa, what are you doing? I do not... The way this bird controls is annoying! Why does he keep going up? Like, I can't tell him to go down, please. I wanted to try to get up this wall, you dude. I wonder if, like, this is actually possible. Maybe I can actually get up all the way if I tap better. Okay, chat, I just needed to tap better. Yep, spam that A button. How come they never made Cheerio holes? Very, very important question. Poison Darthrog, this is a great summary review of Battletoads. I don't even feel the need to play it. Okay, so that cave there, I am not going to trust right now. I'm gonna go Cheerios. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way. Okay, okay, so sweet smelling banana. Okay, so probably I just need to get the bananas for Moosh. One assumes, right? And then that will make Moosh happy. right? And that's what's important to me, is that my friend Moosh be happy. Okay, can't go that way. Interesting. Okay, well, I can go this way as well as... That didn't really give me anything, though. Except an opportunity to destroy all the keys. It was lovely to see you, Angel. I'm glad that we could help you with your exercise in advance of your bedtime routine. Take your time. Get yourself all ready and cozy for bed. And I hope you have a great night. Whew! Getting back is going to be really quick because I can just lift these. Hi. I would like this, please. I got a spring banana. It sure smells sweet. Great. What's in this cave? Something! Insanity is the answer to what's in this cave. Okay, so I need to press... Whoop! Okay, so I need to press that button. Ugh! I will go around again. I got a ring! I genuinely don't know if this is worth it. Well, thanks for respawning me at the entrance. Bye! I'm fine. Thanks for the bomb. I was looking for health. Okay, that helps. I will take. That's fair. I mean, especially if I'm gonna try 100%ing the game on the next playthrough of them. I am gonna have to, I am gonna have to get some rings. Gosh. Okay. So if I get, yeah, good luck to me. We'll see how possible it is with, like, a walkthrough next time. If not, then we'll have to regroup. Hey, Moosh. I did bring you a spring banana because I love you. Thank you, Moosh. I'm glad you happily accept. And so now what? What can I do with him? Normally with older games, it's okay if it's unreasonably hard, you can save state, okay? That did not work here. Save states go by a second at a time, and so many walls have to be dodged in a single second that by save stating you ended up backtracking. Yes, I have definitely had that problem before with certain things, like when you save state and you're, like, there are things that you need to do so quickly that you're like, I can't break this into segments, and so I can't, like, hack it. That's very unfortunate. Bike accelerates, so as you go back a second, you're not entirely sure how quickly you need to press up and down. It's not a consistent pattern. That does sound very difficult. Like, that sounds like one of those moments where you're like, okay, I just need to be good at this, and that's not what I was here for. That's fair, daisies. I am probably going to use a walkthrough and just be like, tell me what to do. If there's, like, a consistent way to find or learn things. You gotta feel, if I'm on this mountain, I'm supposed to be exploring some of these other squares. What if I go this way? Will Moosh let me up the mountain here? Excuse me. Interesting. I genuinely... Nope. Was I I supposed to bring the bird over here? The bird didn't really let me bring him anywhere. I think I'm gonna have to fall off the mountain. Okay, that's not the way. Ooh. Very nice. I don't remember these being flowers, and so I think it being spring might be a new thing. Ooh, rude. Right. Okay. I do not love the way you have attacked my friend Moosh. So I can go up this thing. Can Moosh go up this? Like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, but I'm just gonna ignore that guy. Oh, it's not spring anymore! Awkward. Okay. But I also think I haven't been here before. Oh boy. Are these passable? Guys, we're gonna get to watch me spam A a whole bunch again and then fall. Yeah. Why do you get stuck on that? There's something about the navigation in the air where, like, where I experience the placement of my sprite and where I experience the shadow does not seem to match how the game experiences those things. And so I often think I'm going around a rock and the game is like, nope, you're stuck on the rock. And I'm like, how am I still stuck on the rock? I've gone so far above the rock and it's fine. There, Poison Darthfog, thank you for redeeming Ask Me Anything. There was a Nintendo Direct yesterday. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I have been completely immersed in packing up my office to move, and I have had no space for anything else. I have been fundamentally just like checked out of any other aspect of life until right this moment, and so I did not know there was a Nintendo Direct. But I can answer the back half of your question. So I will definitely look that up. /M looking that up right now. Partner showcase? Does that mean it's mostly non-Nintendo games? Oh, that's gonna be exciting though. I really want to check that. So I remember that there was a partner showcase a while back that had some interesting games in it that didn't have release dates at the time. I wonder if some of them have release dates. Let me check. It wasn't that. That's not where I keep my list. Let me just check, because you might be able to answer my question. Was Infinity Nikki one of the games presented or discussed at all at the Nintendo Direct yesterday? Not games straight from Nintendo, but released on the platform. Yeah, that makes sense. So I remember seeing a while back a game called Infinity Nikki that I do not think was Nintendo. I think it was Nintendo partner that was supposed to come out on the Switch, but I do not ever recall seeing I'll play the newly released Zelda out of order instead of after. So I am really excited because this is the back half of Poison Darth Frog's question. Is there anything upcoming Nintendo that I'm excited about? Echoes of Wisdom is getting purchased on launch from me because I am very excited about that. Epic Mickey. Okay, I was never really into the Epic Mickey games, so maybe I'll have to check the Nintendo Direct and see if there's anything indie that I'm excited about. But I know I'm excited about Echoes of Wisdom, which I think is coming out in September. If it's not coming out in September, it might be coming out in November, and either way, I don't care. I will just throw my money at them and be like, yes, please. I really am gonna have to weigh that. I'm not always genuinely good at being like an early Zelda game player. I can probably say that I might be willing to interrupt my saga in order to play it for a stream just to see how I like it and what it's like. And if it hooks me, I might keep going. September 26th. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was end of September. One of my coworkers' birthdays is on September 26th. That is not relevant. I'm still going to be buying Echoes of Wisdom for me. Farming Sims. That's exciting. You're just calling it Zelda? You're not calling it Adventure, or sorry, you're not calling it The Legend of Link, because that's what Kimenzel and I have been calling it. Did I save? I did. Great. Okay. We can do this. They had me at being able to command monsters. Listen, the fact that I can just pick something up and drop it somewhere else, very Tears of the Kingdom, but very perfect. I almost want to be like being able, like, you can command your army of monsters. Very demure, very mindful. Like, I just want, that is that game vibe as far as I'm concerned. Zelda's Legend of Zelda. Starring Zelda. Nice. Okay, we made it. I got a key. That's important, because as starring Zelda as Zelda. Okay, we got a key. I need that. So now we're going to have to go all the way up and around this mountain in order to get to the keyhole place, or do I just have to go back to where there was a flower and make it spring? I don't know. Directed by Zelda, also produced by Zelda. No! I don't understand the, like, rules of how long Moosh can stay in the air. This is why I'm saving in between all of them, because I'm not good at this. It's funny the things that you can be really talented at and the things that you can just be absolutely terrible at. Piloting Moosh is a thing that I am absolutely terrible at. Look at me being brave. 2 in 1. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that I can dig these snowbanks away with a shovel. So I can keep going and I can keep exploring. But in the end, I know that I need to get back to here because this is where I could see the keyhole on the other side of the mountain. And that's gonna open the way to the next dungeon, one assumes. Okay, we're gonna go exploring if we can figure out how. Exploring is more fun. Aw, that's really sweet, Willis. Thank you. Gaming is secondary. See, this is why we just chat for half an hour sometimes at the beginning. Willis, thanks for redeeming seasonal candy. Let me get some of my definitely melted but still delicious salted caramel ice cream. Thank you for redeeming Smarties Canadian edition. Smarties American edition. Hydrate for 69 channel points. Nice. I appreciate that. You're noticing that we haven't seen Hecho in Mexico yet today, and so you're just making sure I get to snack. Aww! Thanks for redeeming. Keep doing what you're doing, being super talented and wonderful. No, you. Uno reverse card. So I got myself my Canadian Smarties right here. I got myself my American Smarties right here. I'm so prepared for this chat. So prepared. I already did my seasonal candy. I need to do a dehydrate. Damn. I think I'm gonna definitely finish what's in my mouth before adding this. So now that I've said it, I really want to know what will happen. I have both the powdered candy that is the American Smartie and the candy coated chocolate of the Canadian Smartie in my mouth at the same time. And it's having a party. And I was like, do I want to add a Cool Ranch Dorito to this party? clearly not, but also... I didn't want to. Okay. Now we're sure. Like, no one in the world, me included, was expecting that to be a positive combination. I just had to know. And now we know. Anyway, thanks for the hydrate. I need it. Oh. I don't know how to describe this. So I'm using this as a descriptor, not as like a literal phrase. That is a flavor that gets stuck to your teeth. Not that any of the candy did, not that the Dorito did, like, that's all gone. The flavor got stuck to my teeth. Knowing is half the chip. G.I. Joe. I will take that hydrate for 6 mana channel points. Down. This way. This way. Okay. Oh, there is a cave here. I want to know what's in the cave. Oop. Oops. Cave? Not what I expected to be in the cave. We're just going exploring at this point, chat. Learning new things, finding new places, seeing where we be and what we do. Yeah, I can throw the rocks in lava. Woo! This is way too much fun to watch them like splash instead of exploding. Oh, that's not really what I wanted, because I'm up here without Moosh. Okay. Yeah, I knew that was an enemy. The rocks I'm not sure about, though. Aha! Nah. It's a little bit trickier in the cave for me to see which ones are enemies. Oh dear. Oh no! It's these guys. Okay. That was a long way back. Lionels are not what you want to meet at this stage in the game. Is it worth resetting and exploring some of that with knowledge? It is going to take me a long time to recover that health. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, you know what? This is fine. I like the animation of just dropping lifted objects in place. It is very unique. Ultimate Pro just smashing pots on his head. Okay, yeah. Right. Thanks for the fairy that I do not need right now. Okay, So. Wow. Wow. Get back here. Eh. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So there was the cave, but we went into the cave and that was a way, but it wasn't the only way. So hold on. Willis, thank you very much for redeeming pop-up bun. One moment, please. Let me get you a Lady Kiwi whack. I just noticed that those are not alphabetized, so that's great. Definitely super easy to find and locate them when needed. So let's see what happens when we stay with Moosh for a bit. I see. What happens is we find a different cave. Okay, so I want the satchel. I don't even think I have... Okay, I'm gonna burn these trees and see if any of them do anything interesting. One of them does something interesting. Okay. And there's also a cave. Oh dear. Oh dear, there's far too many interesting things happening right now. Oh dear, do I even want to know? He gave me money, I will take it. He gave me a lot of money! That was like $300! Tree husbandry is a real thing and you're not good at it. Gorons? I'm not being a good tree husband, that's fair. I think these are Gorons. The Goron is so big he can't fit in our cave, but it's so cold outside, that poor Goron. Welcome to Goron Mountain. It's too cold to go outside, so I'm all out of shape. Okay. I don't know what that one tree sees in you. Listen, I've been actively avoiding being a tree husband for the entire duration of that game. I think I'm extremely talented at it. Winter year-round, but ever since the Temple of Seasons sank, it's gotten even colder. You can catch cold just going outside. That's not fair. Man, I wish it was that cold here. Do I know if the Goron vase? All collectors want to have it. I do not know. Okay, so we have like a whole mountain that we could have been exploring. I'm fascinated. The Goron is up above, but he has a cold. That's very unfortunate. How to avoid trees. Fire! Okay, so I wonder if I can interact at all with the Goron, because he's got a cold. So maybe I can't fix whatever. Chad, I have a new best friend. I mean, that's not true. No one will ever replace Moosh, but look at him! He's just blinking at me and he's so cute. And he's so much bigger than me and I'm so wee and little. And we can play together and I can push his chin. Ha 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 ha. I love him. Okay, so this is the best Big Goron I've ever seen. Choo! I bust up. It's so cold. Do you have anything that can warm a body up? Do I throw fire at him? This feels like a trading quest dialogue to me. And the problem is, since it feels like a trading quest, it feels like I don't have the item I'm supposed to have. Nope. I can't throw seeds at him. Oh no, poison dart frog. That's so unfortunate when movies ignore common sense. Well, I don't think that I'm supposed to be there yet, but I also feel like I'm missing out, if that makes any sense. But I'm glad I found the Goron City. So now we can try... Oops. We can try going back up the mountain. To see if we can get past the blue Lionels somehow. Which does mean abandoning Noosh, and I don't love that for me, but... It's like they don't even want to win against the dragons. Whoops! I put my sword away like a silly little goof. Okay, we're gonna do that again. I thought to myself, oh, I remember needing both of these items, and I don't remember there being many enemies. But I was incorrect. So we'll just have to deal. I'm gonna go into this cave again, even though there was nothing in here. Just to prove that I went in. I need to figure out where to fall off the top of the mountain to get to that one. Great. And then that one's the other one. Okay. Let's go in this dragon's cave. Just swords! Javelins, my dudes. Willis, have you ever played or played or heard anything about Lord of the Rings War in the North? It was a console video game from the early 2000s, maybe? I had it on Xbox. It might have... Sorry, Xbox 360, I think. It might have been on, like, the comparable PlayStation console. But the reason that this came up for me is that in Lord of the Rings War in the North, which is... Sorry, this is one of my favorite games. This is the only game that I classify as a favorite game that is not on a Nintendo console. I should specify that. So, like, this is an extremely important game to me. It is about, like, it is set during the Lord of the Rings, where you play not the characters from the Fellowship. You are just over in a corner fighting a different war against a different minion of Sauron. Literally. Like, you meet the Fellowship, you do quests for the Fellowship, you hang out with them, and you just then go and do your own things. I did. Let's have a sword and hope that the giant flying beast with flaming projectiles doesn't find a way around getting stabbed. Yeah. Of course you did, Poison Dart Frog. I am in no way shocked. So I have an Xbox 360 because of War in the North. Like, there is no question in my mind that I would not have bothered dealing with that console or console series if that game hadn't existed. So there's a part in the game where you have to go talk to a dragon. And you just walk in. And I'm not saying that there are no shields. You can choose to equip shields. You can choose to equip armor. You can choose to equip nothing. It doesn't matter because you do not get into combat with this dragon. You just have a conversation. And I'm wondering if that movie thought it was actually that scene from War in the North where like, oh, there are these giant flying beasts, but clearly they won't want to try to kill me. We're just gonna have a conversation. I mean, you can't equip nothing. Or rather, if you choose to equip nothing, you're still in like basic peasant clothing. Oh, that is very unfortunate, Poison Dart Frog. And that is an entirely valid reaction to it. I specifically played that game with my brother. You just take them off. I'm pretty sure. Like, if you don't have the item on. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, we had better luck that time with one of them. So, this is interesting. They're not actually, like, aggressive towards me, but boy, did they take almost all my health anyway. I don't know what I'm gonna get out of this, but I need a fairy. Hi. It's so nice of you to come all the way here just to see me. Since you did, shall I make it so you can carry more rings? Yeah! Let me see your box. Do this here, that there. Okay, I'm done. You got a bigger ring box. It can hold more rings. Honestly, that's pretty cool. Is that worth fighting 2 Lionels and losing almost all of my health? Questionable. Oh, enjoy your Stardew. Enjoy your Stardew with the wifey, Willis. Say hello for me. Oh, I had a boomerang in this game. I probably could have used that to fight the Lionels. I probably should have used that to fight the Lionels. How do I get my health back? Well, whoops. No! I wanted that heart. And I kept jumping onto Moosh instead of doing useful things. This is fine. I do love Moosh, so I accept. Thanks for the large amount of money. I would much rather have a health. Thank you. I appreciate that, Willis. Keep jumping onto Moosh. He is my best bear friend. But I really need some health. Thank you to all the wonderful snow that's giving me health. It's very interesting. I feel extremely Canadian playing this part of the game because of how much health I've been getting from the snow. Also, how much money I've been getting from the ground? Oh. I'm sorry. That's a really funny joke, though. You still have LOTR conquests? Oh my gosh. I mean, that does sound pretty awesome. Okay, so we successfully explored a whole bunch of the mountain that I don't think we need to explore, because I think what we're supposed to do is jump on that flower that we saw, like, ages ago. And I just didn't do that because Moosh wasn't coming with me. Would have been nice to find that last little bit of health. That's okay. That was a fun amount of exploration. Woo! Okay, you need to be done in a way. I lost Moosh, but that's okay. So it's summer here right now, which is not what we want. We want it to be spring. So we're gonna fix that by making it really cold. And then by making it spring. So I think... Yeah! Okay. So that's what I thought would happen, and it didn't happen when I stepped on it with Moosh, which honestly, fair, acceptable. Oop. Fair enough. It's not for everyone. I happen to love it. But it's totally okay if there are people who don't like it as much as I do. I know I didn't say this at the time because it takes me a minute to kind of process these things, and I know Willis is in like lurk mode and everything, but I'm just now realizing that he mentioned that he got an Xbox for Halo when I said that I got an Xbox for War in the North, and getting an Xbox for Halo feels like the normal way of doing this. Narnia is great. I'm just genuinely a fan of lots and lots of different fantasy lore. The villain campaign is better. Playing orcs being ordered around by other orcs is more fun. They're more passionate about their work. That's amazing. Okay, so there's a cave. There is a different cave, and there's some water. Let me see. So what happens if I go in this cave? Sleeping person. Sleeping thing? Sleeping. The snow, it blocks the... He doesn't seem to hear you. Okay, so I don't think I can get that treasure chest right now. I think I might have to come back here during a different season. Which is a little weird. Oh, same. I also have the old, the new, and the every version that I've been able to get my hands on. I'm pretty sure we have the radio dramas. I would need to double check that because I haven't experienced them, but it definitely seems like the sort of thing that my husband would have. Interesting. So I can change the season, but I can also swim. There's absolutely something in that waterfall. And there's a random underwater secret. There's no enemies or anything here. There's just... I got a pyramid jewel? What's that for? I wasn't even looking for that. I was not expecting to find anything here. Link always looks like he's in his pajamas. Okay. So then... I can't climb waterfalls. I wonder if that... I never know what I'm supposed to try to navigate these. Summer, okay. What about winter, though? Woo! Oh my goodness. Trying to fight him while on ice does not work well. Okay, so we do actually get to access the other cave in the winter. Because I'm trying to figure out how to get to those 2 squares up there that are, like, undiscovered. Oops. Does Link have black hair? This messes with my headcanon. Great question. So here's the thing, Poison Darth Frog. From the front here, you're like, what is that dark? But from the side here, you can see his bangs. At least that's how I imagine them. I see the edge of the cap, and then I see what I am imagining as bangs. And they're clearly not black. And so maybe it's neither, and you can't see his hair at all, and this has like a cap brim. I don't know. Whoop. Whoop. What's there? Okay. Just the ability to be there, that's it. Oh. Okay. Oh my. That fairy tried to run away. 2 fairies in this cave. This is a very curious cave. Aha! Oh great. 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 I have to figure out how to fly a bird again. Spam the A button. But do it better. I did. Well, that's nice that they gave me this mechanic that lets me fly. Hi. We're gonna... Oh, there was something behind the waterfall. This whole time. No, I'm leaving. Okay, so it needs to not be winter. I bet. I bet it needs to be summer. Like, I bet there's gonna be vines. Bam. Vines. We found the next dungeon, chat. Level 4, the Dancing Dragon. That sounds delightful, honestly, like genuinely. Which means we're still fundamentally, we're 1 dungeon ahead in seasons. He's dancing on the button. Poison Darth Frog, at the beginning of every stream, I always try to do this. No, I've seen a chat in between. Link is playing DDR, that's true. I always try to line it up where I put the Triforce and then I put like panicking Link directly underneath it like he's holding it up. I always try to do that at the beginning of stream to test to make sure like everything seems to be working and like my visuals are working and everything like that. And that's one of the funniest things. I love the like up-down combinations that you can do with emote pairs. So I made it to the Dancing Dragon dungeon, which is great. And I think I might make an odd decision. Actually, there might be a couple of odd decisions. Sleep well, Akina. It was lovely to see you. Have a nice night. So the principal decision I think I'm gonna make is this actually seems like it would not be a terrible time to end stream. I know I'm a little early. Usually I try to stream for about 10 more minutes. But I've mentioned already a couple of times that like I'm pretty up to here with like thinking about work and like being kind of constantly on the ball for that. And so I was already like, tonight was great. I had fun. I even had fun when it clearly was not working and the game was being ridiculous. But I do feel like, hey, for 10 minutes, maybe I don't want to get too far into a dungeon if I'm gonna then like put it down for a week. So I think I'm actually gonna call a pause here and I will end stream and we will pick this up again next week. Again, as far as I am aware, we do not intend to do overtime next week. I don't know how reasonable that's going to turn out. The reality is everything is kind of in chaos, and I feel like we're going to have to work really, really hard to catch up on all of the stuff. Scammed! We're going to have to work really, really hard already to catch up on all of the stuff that we like haven't been doing because we've been packing the office instead. It's always tricky to coordinate moves and that sort of thing. And so as of now, I'm not expecting to be working overtime next Wednesday. So I am expecting to still be streaming same time next week. 7 p.m. Eastern time is my time zone. So that's when I will be here. That's when I will be streaming. Should I redeem some random thing to keep you out another 10 minutes? If you want to. I do not mind either way. But I am probably done with the game just to kind of keep my understanding of where I'm at pretty stable. Oop, I'm throwing things. It's okay, I got it back. And so I should see you all next week. I hope to see you all next week. But as usual, if that changes, I will try to make sure my schedule on Twitch is updated. So like there is a schedule page. And I do have my weekly streams listed there. And so if I wind up learning that I need to cancel, I will cancel that stream. So if you happen to be here next Wednesday and I'm not starting the way you think I should, you can check the schedule to see if something has changed. But at the moment, I do believe I will be streaming next week. Hopefully I will be a little more on my game and able to multitask. It's definitely a tricky thing to kind of take a break from like being involved in a project of that scale for me. It's not something that I've had a lot of opportunity to do. That being said, I seem to get involved in big projects like this a lot. Like my previous job, I was involved in like closing the store, and that was like a huge project that I ended up shouldering most of. It was crazy. And so is there a book I have a fairly quick opinion of? I mean, yes, there is. If you wanted to redeem a book review, I actually know what I would talk about that wouldn't be that many minutes of talking. I'm preparing to get it. since I'm somewhat expecting to do it now. Just in case you do. Just in case while I'm chatting, if someone happens to need a book review, I have one that I think I could do in under 5 minutes. I like that when I hold Chip, I'm like, it's his nose. Poison Darthrock, I'm so shocked. Thank you for redeeming Lady Q's book reviews. How many of y'all have heard of the Great Library series? As I've discussed before, I love fantasy. This is a fascinating version of that. This is like a let's rewrite history sort of thing. And so in the case of the Great Library series, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. So it's still very fantasy setting. I would say it has a lot of technological elements as well to it. So maybe sci-fi would be an equally good characterization. Like it's one of those. It's one of those pieces. It is a very fascinating series. And the reason why this is a short book review is that I've only read the first 3 chapters of the first book. And so I can't give you a very long or very thought out opinion, but I am able to tell you why it interests me and why I haven't finished it yet. It did look a little bit like I was trying to cover Chip's mouth. So Ink and Bone is the first in a 5-book series called the Great Library series by Rachel Kane. It is a series that I had heard of multiple times. I was very aware of this. And then I got a little bit lucky because I got married to my partner, Kay Menzel, and he had all of them. So I didn't even have to buy them. They just landed in my lap because now I live here and these books are here too. And so I picked them up. I picked this book up a few months ago, probably. Which is kind of shocking for me because I tend to consume books very quickly, especially good books. I consider this a very good book. It is fascinatingly written and it has a fascinating premise. So I will tell you the premise. The premise of the Great Library series is essentially, what if the Great Library of Alexandria never burned? And this is somewhat dystopian in its setup because Rachel Kane does not take the good of that. So the tagline of this book is knowledge is power. And you go, oh, and there's so much knowledge in the Great Library of Alexandria. Yes, true. However, what do people tend to do with power? They tend to hoard power. And so this is not a good story necessarily, because what happens in that like dystopian version of this, what if the Great Library of Alexandria had never been burned? Well, dystopia says, what if it was hoarded instead? And so now there's like an authoritarian ruling class that holds all of the access to the knowledge, and books are black market items, like real books. So there's lots of technology in this. And that's probably why sci-fi and fantasy are both like equally valid terms. There were some very, very interesting things directly in the setup. And so now let me tell you why I put it down. I do much of my reading during my workday. Like I'll read on my lunch break, I'll read on my commute, on the GO train. I read to relax in the middle of like stressful situations. The Great Library series is not a series that you read to relax. Literally, like chapter 1, you have named character death. Like, nobody is safe. It's a what if, and the answer is it would suck. Like, I don't know how comfortable I feel getting attached to any character that I have met in any of these books, because there's a lot of space. Rachel Kane is the author. There's a lot of space for like the like cruelty of power that you can find in dystopian works. There's a lot of space for like betrayal. There's a lot of space, and now I'm riffing those. I have not read enough of this series to know for sure. And so what I found reading on my commute was I got very anxious, and then attempting to read on my lunch break, I was so stressed. I was just like, I don't know what to do. And so I have had to put this down because I need to actually like read this on vacation. So I'm really looking forward to opportunities over the next few months as Kimenzel and I have days off, we have vacations. Like I might bring this with me to work on Friday, chat, because on Friday this week, the movers are coming to move everything, and I am an overseer. So I'm literally going to our new office location so that when the moving truck comes, I can have like labels on the walls and go, oh, cool, you're bringing in stuff that's like labeled in neon green. Please put it in a pile over there. Oh, you've got the neon orange. That goes over there. Oh, you're bringing in some furniture. Here's the layout. This is where we want it put. Like I'm there to manage, which means I'm going to have hours of nothing to do in between truck trips. And that seems like a good time to read a book like this, where it doesn't really matter if it's extremely stressful or not. I can get through to some of the like more stable points. And so I don't necessarily recommend this as like the most relaxing of books, but I was fascinated by the premise, and I'm already pretty fascinated by the lore that I have been introduced to. It's a vacation book for when you want to stress while on vacation. Correct. You're right. You got it. I cannot let go of this premise. This is the thing. And this is why I would recommend anyone who feels like this might be interesting, look it up. Because the idea that someone took, what if the Great Library of Alexandria had never burned down? What if none of that knowledge was lost? What if it was all accessible and no one was allowed to access it? Hurts my soul. Like, it's the giant what if question of we're sitting here in our modern day not knowing how much knowledge we lost when those books burned, right? Like, there's this feeling of there's an unknowable, grieved loss of all of these texts and what they might have recorded in this great library. And the idea that someone imagined a world wherein it existed and you still weren't allowed to know what was in it. Oh, my heart just can't. And I love that. Thank you, The Oncoming Storm, for redeeming Switch. We're gonna do that so that we start on this game next time. Except we're in the middle of a cutscene, so that's gonna be extremely funny, and I cannot wait. I appreciate that. So as I said, I am gonna end stream. I'm gonna sign off. I will hope to see you guys next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll figure out what's going on in this cutscene. We might figure out what's going on in the other dungeon. Either way, if you feel interested in reading Rachel Kane's Ink and Bone, which is the first book of her The Great Library series, 5 books long, let me know if you like it, because I would be super into that. So we're gonna see about going on a raid. Why not? I had fun too, Pseudo-Rudo. It was nice to see you tonight. I'm gonna drop a raid message. You can leave the emotes or take them as you choose. We're gonna go visit Civis again. We visited Civis a couple of times. She's a VTuber. She plays games that are a little bit more mature than what I play, shall we say. It's not necessarily like adult, though sometimes it is. Sometimes she plays horror, that kind of thing. Oh gosh, there were so many things that happened that I wasn't paying attention to. Thank you for redeeming that Poison Darth Frog, because that was actually a very interesting... that was an interesting challenge to go through. Okay, so Civis is playing depersonalization, I think? Who knows what that game is? I certainly don't, but we're gonna go visit Civis anyway, because she's a sweetheart. So I will drop you off there. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Rest up well if it's almost bedtime for you. It is almost bedtime for me. have yourselves a wonderful rest of your week. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. I hope to see you next time. And as always, keep it cute. Night, everybody.